2 ways, and I kind of like it.
Never mind,
I wouldn't.
That was pretty good though. Pretty good.
It's good. I missed half.
Leon's on point tonight. You better calm down, Chief.
You know, because you couldn't see me, I said, "Word, two."
Oh.
I kind of like it.
Okay, are we live? Okay, it is 6:31, August 23rd. Go support. Call this meeting to order. You please stand for the invocation and pledge allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful to be here tonight. Please help us to have our minds open to this budget, that we may be able to use the money wisely. Please help us as we talk about the police department, that we may look to the future and prepare for that. Father, as we look at the other parts of the budget, please help us keep our minds on what needs to be done and work diligently to have those things done in our budget. Father, we love thee. We're thankful for the rain that we received, and we ask thee to please protect our residents in our city, that they may not be overcome by flooding or any other problems from the rain. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Done this before, but just for the people that are watching YouTube, all are present for the city council. As you see, Kevin, Leon, myself, Graham Reed, Chris Burkett. In the audience is Robin Myers, Chief John Alderson, Public Works Director Michael Stafford, Shannon, and I don't even know her last name. And then, and of course, the illustrious Annette Lemons in for city. Is there any announcement to do?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Just to make everyone aware, so just like in years past, when we get heavy rains, I have to close the park. Today, we have people get stuck out there. The grounds are super soft. The only safe part to really drive around is the blacktop. So, but as of right now, the park's closed. As soon as it dries up enough to drive on, then we will open it back up.
Okay, good point. Anybody else, any announcements? Moving on to number 5, citizens input. We have any citizens input? Good. Answer is no. Okay, now we're getting into budget workshop. The general fund, PD, which city. Okay. We're leaving where we left off. There's not a page number, but under the police department, 1.71.000. We're starting off with the first line of salaries, and then we'll just move on from there. Entertain any comments, questions, concerns, anything regarding the budget on the PD side.
So you're saying there, chief plus 2 officers, plus an officer, so you're.
Okay,
Officers end up.
that 3 officers. Right now, we have 2 officers and the chief. This is adding another officer plus a part-time person. Or the other column, which would be the chief and 3 full-time officers. So that's why I separated those columns.
And this does include the raise.
This includes, yes, and it also includes their taxes. That's why that's the only thing hanging out there.
A raise in salary. It's submitted over here.
Just in case nobody knows, the next line overtime, we had budgeted for the year we're in right now at 5,000, and we're at 1581.75. The guys are working 410s is what they're working. And so the police department has done very well with overtime. But we just, with the coming year and adding another, third officer, we just no way to tell how that's gonna go. And it looks like we've got, proposed $5,000 for overtime.
Yeah, I mean, we went through most of the year.
Yeah.
Without a fully staffed department, so.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to even judge that one, so.
Well, it's one of those things I'd rather budget too much and not use it than to budget too little and go.
So the next one's the merit increase Christmas bonus. We're going to hire another person, another officer. We need to increase that
No.
because
Well,
there's only
they-
3 of them.
Yeah, that would be, it would need to be,
It would be,
We've only got 3 officers that are eligible right now. If we had an officer tomorrow, they would be eligible for Christmas. bonus.
Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
They only get that,
But we don't really have,
year, a certain length of time.
it's unidentified at this point. Years like the wrongs.
Usually though, yes. We don't.
Yeah,
someone that's been here.
when it's this late in the year, we don't do it.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
But it's, actually, that's really brings up a good point. We probably need to put it in our employee manual. Of what, what the minimum requirements for, Christmas bonus. And this helps, our officers as well as city employees out a great deal. They're out there breaking their backs, trying to get the job done, and it really comes in handy. I think we get those out at Thanksgiving, wasn't it? Don't we do it at Thanksgiving dinner?
Mhm.
I mean, in reality, we wouldn't need to increase that till next year.
Right, oh, yeah.
But we do need something under pre-employment screening if we're going to hire another officer.
well, okay, look back on the, administration. I put there. To make it all come out of that line item.
Okay, so it would no longer come out of the police budget, is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Right, it's at the very bottom of the administration budget.
Actually, they're not an employee of the police department until they're hired anyway, so,
But they're still in our general
I know.
fund account,
yeah.
Okay,
so that's why there's nothing in there.
okay.
The difference in the FICA is the additional, the third officer, what you see out to the right.
Actually, what you see out to the right is the difference with the not a part-time person.
Okay, well, I figured at least with one officer, I don't know, but
So that's part-time, so that's why the insurance doesn't change. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
employee, office supplies.
That's why our unemployment and tax would go down.
Mhm.
Next year's quite a bit over.
Is office supplies, realistic? 117, 1107, 1500, is that? I don't know that you've all got printers over there, right? Or you got multiple printers,
Yeah.
for, is it 1500 enough for, toners, paper?
Well, we bought toner today for hers, $121.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm afraid 1500 maybe a little bit on the low side.
She had a line out. I think, too, didn't you?
I'll live off the office.
Yeah, we spend our fair share on, but, just the paper usage alone, just for the council meetings is unbelievable.
Chief, if they're gonna cover office supplies, that would also cover your car printers, right? Of course, those are laser,
It cover the paper. I would
so
think.
yeah, you're just gonna have to have paper for those. So that's probably not that expensive. I wouldn't think you're probably buying a box of paper, I'm guessing, for those.
My 2 cents is add, at least a few $100, something.
Because those rolls of paper are pretty expensive. Those
They are.
micro printers.
There's no demand for them. I mean, really, it's not like regular.
I think for the machine that we have for the water, I think it's like about $50 or $60 a case. And there's about 24 rolls in that case.
Same kind of paper.
It's similar to it, isn't it, like the non-carbon 2 sheets?
Yeah.
They get a copy and you have a
It
copy.
prints out 2 copies.
So
It's
it's a
non-carbon.
little different.
I don't know.
NCR is
Laser printers take different shape.
Well, that's those heat. Really calling it, they're printed by heat or something. What are they?
That's a thermal printer.
Thermal printers, isn't it what they
Yeah.
do? Like
Yeah,
the
they
old
don't,
fashioned-
they don't have the ink, they just, the ink's in the paper.
Yeah.
It just heats it up and pretty big on.
I think it's NCR paper. something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. So,
So, I mean, we saying we need to add some to that, or
Yeah.
Chief, what do you think?
Number 5.
Number 5.
Somebody-
Because I think those are the new printers in the cars, and once the other car comes in, that'll be 3 of them, and then one of those thermal. Printers. Maybe that thermal.
moving on to vehicle fuel. If you look at the budget versus actuals this year. What did the price action get? That was spring, what is it, spring?
No, they started really a year ago. Right after,
Yeah, it started.
right after, you're talking December
It really took a big jump,
in spring.
in the spring. It looks like to me you're on top, you're forecasting, you're budgeting pretty good right there, because,
It's about 2 tanks.
I mean, given what you,
Now,
What you-
October to January, I was the only one driving.
Yeah.
Card,
Yeah.
and that's when fuel started going.
So fully staffed, we probably would have it and maybe even a chance exceeded that budget at 17.5.
Yeah.
yeah, with the hikes in prices, I bet.
Is everybody okay with the vehicle fuel?
I think it comes out pretty good.
Okay. Moving on, travel training. What kind of training would we have that would be sending people to? Was
I
that,
thought of them that last year, when we set up to go to the chief school for a week.
and it's a week, and how much is the class? And
I can't remember how much the motel is,
I'm talking about the class,
for the class, I think it's on.
$100 for a whole week. Okay, so you can figure at least probably roughly figure $150 a day. On motel and meals.
No, you're looking at probably close to $1,000 bill.
Yes.
By the time-
Yeah.
Probably gonna be on.
You're gonna be close to $1,000 bill by the time you're done. Are we gonna need to send any other officers, chief, to any kind of training, you think?
Yeah, I'll probably have to, because like me and Paul are the only ones that are got our master peace officer's license, so we don't have to take as much classes like Jacob, he is basic, so he's gonna have to get his intermediate license and advanced.
Okay.
And then his master peace officer's license.
So we-
You're gonna have to just 15,000.
So if we cut 1,000 off that, right off the bat for chief school, that's gonna leave us for 1,000. And if we're planning on bringing another officer in as well.
We're gonna need a lot more than that.
Yeah.
We also go to training range.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
The great.
Yeah.
Training.
Last year.
And a lot of our schools, we take online, a lot of them we take 49. OSS, and PES.
We got $683 for the PD training grant this past year.
So that's 2,700, that.
Yeah.
So you think you're good with that?
Yeah, that's pretty close to kind of what we were saying, so.
He's happy with it.
Okay. I guess we'll just skip training grants. Telephone, that includes, does that include code?
No, code is separate.
It's separate, okay.
Mhm.
And of course, we may be over on that if we can ever get them to get us on the right.
Yeah,
But if we are, cool. But, I
I'll
mean,
check and see.
well, there should,
Desktop.
yeah, right.
yeah, rare. So 700 is for your man's license, is
Yeah,
that?
and 1,500 for,
Yeah,
But there's no active.
well, she just, oh, you're right, yeah, I see,
So
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, we want this.
Or
Man, is that probably just get.
That-
had to get in there?
That's, it hadn't hit because it's all paid out of water sewer. It's a transfer. Yeah,
Oh.
it's hard to get it until the end of the year for the transfer.
equipment repair, that's not vehicle repair, is it? No. What would that cover then?
Like your radar and stuff, right?
Yeah. Is everybody okay with that? To move on or?
So.
No more questions or? Moving on to 171117. Vehicle maintenance and repair at 5,000. We've really been fortunate this year, actually. We just replaced a alternator on one of the squad car with $280 or something. Ours are tire, or I think we already have, but that's later on, never mind.
I think you just bought that and went and done it yourself,
Yeah.
right? Had a local business owner help you with it or something.
Yeah,
What's our oldest police car? What model?
3 years old.
19.
My Tahoe, 18.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The other ones are 19 and.
We really had good luck. I think it comes down to the drop. We've had, they've taken care of it. What I see now is these guys take care of their vehicles. Keep them clean and they check on those things to prevent maintenance and repairs. Anything else? We're okay with that line item? General liability insurance, property insurance. What's what is the difference between the actual 4,000, roughly 4,000, $3,500, I guess, between the budget and the property insurance? Or is it, yeah,
That's,
no general liability, I'm sorry.
those are 2 more quarters to pay.
2 more
Because
quarters.
the one hits the first, that hasn't been posted for the July's payment. And then
Okay.
we'll have one September
Okay,
for that one, so that's why.
okay.
We can, I think I'm jumping ahead. Go ahead.
Down to uniforms, 1,500. Is that part of vest or what?
No, they don't include this. That's just their 4 pairs of pants and 4 shirts.
Okay, is that enough to cover?
Yeah.
Another third officer,
Yeah,
it would include everybody.
because the officers now, their uniforms.
Okay. Tires. Have you actually physically gone and looked at all 4 tires on all 3 vehicles? The last time I looked, they were in good shape.
They all got, all the cars got new tires on.
Okay, and just so everybody knows, we've got a new vendor for tires that we had for over a year now. We're buying them somewhere else. Now we're getting them out
Police department is actually getting them even from another vendor that John,
because they gotta be A, rated A. So,
he actually is going through Goodyear Wingfoot
okay,
on those.
those take special
For
tires.
the police vehicle, those tires, they give them a better, way better deal.
And those aren't cheap, those are high speed tires, which you call it.
They're not cheap, we buy them. Like I'm saying, we as in many of us sitting up here, but we buy them. You're like Dr. Sounds off on the price. I like to sell out. It's okay how much you get it for. It's great.
Radar certifications. Is that the annual, no, you don't have to have that done annually, right?
Yeah, they come around once a year.
Okay. And they would do 4 vehicles for the $2,000.
250.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at, I'm looking at the radar. Tires, yeah. Vehicle inspection, $60, that's a no-brainer. PD donations, $250. Any questions or comments on that one?
Everything I've got is on the trimming speeds. A
And-
little bit low.
Well, actually, it is, okay, this 13,000. When they were posting this, they didn't realize that you split it among the other funds. And this should have hit the administration portion. Part of it should have, so I feel like this should go down to at least $7,000. Right, because this is one of the fixes that I see that needs to be fixed on our financials.
Okay.
So we want to take it down to 7?
Down to 7.
Okay.
Unless you, well, that would only be if we had any cases or something extra, but we don't expect that.
Yeah.
That's one.
Moving on to PD cleaning.
They pay for half and we pay for half. That's where that's at.
And y'all are gonna start covering mine.
Yeah.
You don't need to clean our off.
We're gonna burn you.
And you're gonna pay. Oh, okay.
You ain't gonna go up on the price.
Yours gets clean.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was talking about the office that was in this building.
John is also included a contingency of 2,400.
5,000. You keep getting the line up.
Yeah,
Better get you a ruler.
I know, I need a ruler. I'll do this.
Yeah, 5,000. I'm good with that. I mean, you gotta have something and you already got 1840
Well,
today, so.
we talked about right now, I mean, we need a cage for the one squad car. Something may or may not come up with that lighting, because there's a number of things. that,
Exactly.
And
So the only question I had would be go back, we started to say something about the donations. What is that?
That is if a lot of people will come in and donate some funds to the police department. Before, we didn't have a line item. We put a line item in there so that we could, you're not supposed to spend it if you don't have a
Yeah.
line item for it. Okay, that's
We were
fine.
trying to donate and we couldn't take it.
yeah, but that would be income, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be income if they were donating.
This is expenses.
I know,
Well, that's what-
but there is a,
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's gonna spend $250 of donation.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
because they're buying the candy and stuff, the trunk food and stuff like that.
Actually, I'm putting that in the park.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a few minutes. So any questions, comments, concerns about what we just covered? Everybody all right with everything?
I'm good with it. Had the one increase and one decrease.
Okay,
So that makes that line total 365,748.
365.
748.
Okay. All right, moving on to public works. We've got contract labor of 2250. That is our contract labor for monthly labs and meter readers.
No, we're on road department.
No, we're on roads.
Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't say road. Oh,
Yeah, it
it does say road. RD,
This-
sorry.
This year we are instead of having all of the expense on the road equipment, we are going to sub out the work to a company and have them, how many weeks was it?
12, a minimum of 12, a minimum of 12 weeks. So I took some line items and put them all into that contract labor to cover the hourly or weekly rate for said individual or company. And then, well, we'll get to the material in a minute, but that's why you see some line items with $0.
And
So
then,
that's the reason we don't have any road salaries, is because
Right.
we're putting in the contract.
Right, the one road salary we had, I accounted for him in water sewer with that payroll budget. So now everyone's accounted for in water sewer.
and this thing,
Okay.
so.
Couple
we-
questions. Sure. Okay, so a couple questions about that. So if we don't have anybody on road, and we're only doing 12 weeks worth of road.
I mean, I can see where you're going.
Yeah,
Public Works still does roads. We still do roads, whether I have someone being paid out of general fund or not. We're still gonna be out there potholing, doing street repairs, things of that nature. What this is for is to allow someone to come in and actually do roads. So for instance, for years and years and years, we put Band-Aids on things, right?
Right.
So what we're trying to do now is Kevin and I came up with a plan to where, we can rock roads, we can actually go back and put a crown on. The following year, we can come back and hole sand that road. The goal is to get every road in this town with holes.
great. That's what I want.
So we have a plan and without Kevin, I don't know how I would have came up with it, but we strategized to figure out a way over the next few years to really go across this entire town. And actually, I need to turn it over to him because he can talk more about the numbers.
The biggest problem that we have is, I don't know if you guys remember, but our grader went down.
Yes, I remember.
Several times.
And so it basically got traded in on the new excavator or a portion of it. So there was monies that were taken off for the new excavator. So we no longer have a road maintainer, a grader, whatever you want to call it. So as Michael said, the guys will still be doing the small repairs here and there. But we were looking at graders and I looked long and hard, spent many hours, Michael spent many hours looking for graders, and you can find some junky ones for the $30,000 to $40,000 range. But to get a grader that's actually gonna do a job and last you for a while, you don't touch it. You don't even start it till you hit $8,000. And then we're talking about a machine that's in the 90s.
And that's if you're lucky.
Okay, so it was like, holy cow. Then you go to the second part of it, we only have one person in it, and that's not, you can usually bring anybody in that's never even ran a tractor and put them on it and show them some things, and they can be pretty proficient. That's not the same case with a grader, right? And that takes a person that is good with equipment. And you can really mess things up really quick and in a hurry with a grader. So we were fortunate enough, when our grader went down, we had a company that was bringing us rock, and they actually rented us the grader, right? For several weeks, couple weeks.
And
but
you
then-
let us use it for free.
But then we had a week that Kim was like, hey, I didn't get the invoice for the grader for this week, because I'm not charging all this. You know, so I got to thinking about this. I was kind of freaking out because we have a backhoe, right? And you can do road work with a backhoe, but if we had what they call an industrial tractor that has the box blade on it with hydraulics, I wouldn't be as nervous, as freaked out. But I got to thinking about this, and I went to Michael and I said, dude, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? We're not gonna be able to buy a grader. We're not right now. We don't have the money.
No.
So how are we gonna take care of our roads? It's like, man, we're gonna figure it out. So I got talking to the company that brought us rock, did some work, rented their grader to us. And I said, look, what would it be if we could get you and your machine? So there's two pluses here, a machine that works very, very well.
That
But
we don't
also,
have to pay for.
but also
Right.
that we don't have to put fuel in, we don't have to fix it if it breaks. But also what comes with it is an operator. Yes, Michael is the only person in our city right now that can operate a grader. But he don't call himself a grader operator. He knows how to do it. This person is I mean,
He's professional.
you know, and so what we're gonna receive, the result is gonna be. Without trying to kick Michael and bruise him too bad, I'm gonna say the result's probably gonna be 6 to. Probably close to 8 times what he would yield on a grader. Because
He's a lot faster,
I mean,
proficient, and he
you know,
understands how to move the material.
it was really
Right,
funny,
right.
it was really funny because I came up and the guy that he rented the grader from. Was here and he was kind of razzing Michael, and he's like, yeah, I don't know why you gotta be in such old man speed. You know, he goes, you know, that thing has other gears, so that tells me, and I get it. Number one, he was on somebody else's machine, you don't want to tear it up. Number two, it's not something that he does all the time, so you gotta watch what you're doing, because you can mess up a road like. that.
Well, a lot of times he had to get off, he would be
And-
working on a road. and
Somebody
get
calls,
off.
something happens, so anyways. So instead of getting on, let's get back on this track.
Mhm.
So when I asked, I said, what would it be? So right now, what we're looking at, it's $3,500 for a solid whole week of road maintaining, right? That is machine and operator.
Get fuel.
And fuel.
Well,
Everything.
all that's machine and operator. I want y'all to really, really think about this for a minute. I'm gonna say that we as a city of West Waukee have never spent more. If we even tickled 8 weeks of road grading in 1 year. We should all won the lottery. I bet you never exceeded 5 weeks of total road grading time a year.
I believe it.
And so if we can get into 12, which what our perfect scenario is 16 is what we talked about, right? And that was the thing that I was gonna say to you guys, if somebody does the math, hopefully somebody wrote my number down. But this math don't add up from what we talked about, so
No, so I had to be creative in how I found ways to pay for it. So with reducing the other line items to come up with the 22,950. That's what I could come up with for the contract labor part of it. Now, you and I know that number is much more.
right,
So what I did is I went to road material. And in road material, I increased the budget, which by the way, remember we flipped
yes.
old sand and rock.
And this was,
So we could build up the rock roads.
that was
and then
another
we'll-
thing that was told to us by the person who would be kind of doing the brain work of the roads, to lay the foundation.
And build a road that's gonna
We're
last
told,
years.
look, we know y'all want gold streets. But you can't have gold until the foundation's good. That's common sense. We all know that, but for some reason we were looking past it. He said, your budgets are backwards. Your old sand and rock is backwards. Y'all need to flip that upside down. You gotta get some solid rock and some solid base on these roads before you can start old sand.
So if you look at rock and sand, rock went up,
174, 121, and 122.
yeah, went up to 50 and old sand at 40. And what we're doing is the remaining part of paying the labor costs will come from each of those. So,
Because they're supplying
yeah,
the rock.
and also
the-
hauling the rock. Now, we're still getting the rock at our rate, the city rate, which is far better than, if we went out and tried to buy it on a personal level. Well, you and I can get for 6 yards, the city can get 22 yards.
Right.
Mhm.
So with that in mind, he's still gonna be able to haul a lot of material and also be there waiting for it, which means the public works director is not on the grader.
Right.
You don't have all the public works out there. You might have 2 guys flagging, doing traffic. So whatever we use out of contract labor, then I would move to material to finish paying that cost.
Right.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have to
Yeah.
ask you,
Yes, ma'am.
is this company local?
Yes.
Yes.
And would we be having an exclusive contract with them? Or would they, I mean, if they had somewhere they had to go, would they pull off something they're doing for us?
No.
to Go do that?
No, when they're here, they're
They're
here.
here? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he told us when he comes here to work, and so when we say a week a month, that might mean one day a week,
Mhm.
right? Plus 2 days in one, or maybe 3 days in 1 month and
Well, the way that,
7 days or 8 days the next month.
the way that we worked it out was each quarter,
Yeah.
no matter what time of year, we're going to be doing road.
Right, right.
So with that being said, we may, and he's gonna rely on me to coordinate it, to say, okay, hey, listen. 2 weeks from today, I want you to spend Monday through Friday on these roads. And he will be here all day, every day on those roads.
Mhm.
So you're gonna get more consistency out
I
of
think,
that than.
I think the only requirement is we have to bring him a bird from Dale's. or something.
Yeah, we gotta. But with that being said.
He's out of luck on Monday.
You have to come under oath, and I'll tell you this.
With me being on the grader, you gotta understand that my phone rings all day nonstop. So I've got to stop the machine and answer phone calls, certain people call. I have to get off the grader to address citizens. So me being able to stay on that machine and only be on that machine is impossible.
Mhm.
With this person's gonna be on the machine, they're not gonna get down until they're done.
How much we spend on the graders here?
On our grader? Oh, God.
Several thousand.
Yeah, well, you gotta think too, we had a couple of volunteers, one of which is sitting up there who spent many hours working on it and repairing it.
It just seemed like every time we got ready to use it, it was
It
flat.
It broke down on me on Red Hawk Bay, it broke down on me on Rabbit Cove, and I'd have to call Kevin and say, hey, man, I can't get a mobile mechanic out here, will you please come help? And then he'd get it up and running, but still. It was a nightmare, it was time for it to go, that machine,
Is it gone?
it's gone.
Yes.
So, okay.
I did cry a little bit when it left.
They pushed it up on the trailer.
Probably
Yeah.
back in
All
repair.
the way down there.
We had no choice, he couldn't turn around.
Yeah.
Well,
they
I
backed it.
wanna
You got
commend you
shoot behind it.
Yeah, he backed it a mile.
When he backed that thing all the way down Rabbit Cove.
Yeah, there's nowhere he could turn that tail around, it was a 65-foot trailer.
Yeah.
It was a mirror.
Wow, 65 foot.
Well, the grader was 30.
I would say just doing the contract labor like that, it can just repair.
Well,
costs
so
like
I
that,
think
road grader or
when
whatever.
we sort of jumped.
We actually spent money on repairs, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're talking $15 just for some, or $1,500 for something to come out.
So we jumped over.
Kevin and Mike, I want to commend you for coming up with that idea. I think that's a wonderful idea for our city. I think that's using that good brain you've got.
It breaks my heart because I love grader.
I'm
We
sure.
gotta do something different. If we
We
want a
have
different
to.
result.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the theory behind that deal, so.
And he could probably grade 2 rows year one.
Yes,
Well,
Yeah.
and
thank you, Leland. I appreciate it.
You're giving him.
That frees you up. That frees you
No,
up.
you're giving him bad. You're giving him a lot.
Yeah, because he had,
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm serious. It's not. It's just a reality thing. I think, Leon, you're giving way more
that's
credit.
why I go to work 2 hours early. I can do 2 hours early, I can do a whole day's worth of work in 2 hours.
Yeah.
If I wait till the store's open, I can't
No,
get anything done.
Yeah, this frees you up actually to work, on the water issues that we're having.
Right.
Plus, we need to start looking at doing some culvert work around the city. too.
We do,
And-
that's gonna be pretty expensive, that's a conversation for another
One of the
time.
things that had been brought up, and then this is on subject, is that we're gonna also be doing the ditches. We've gotta have, some of these roads have no ditches, none.
That was part of our conversation. One of the first things he said to me is, if you want me to fix your roads, Mike, you gotta get on these ditches. Once you fix these ditches and we fix the roads, that's that. No more problems with drainage.
but we will have advisement from him with all this, with no additional cost of anything. He said, I'll come out, and we'll drive around and look at them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you need to do and how you need to do it. And I'll
So-
tell you what prep work, what to do before I come in. And then when he said, when I leave, he said, you'll have a road you never had.
Very.
Well, so basically he's gonna say, okay, we're doing these roads, you do these ditches.
Right.
Then I come out the following week and I do the road.
Yeah.
So it's every time we get off of a road, that road's done. And it's gonna be in great shape
That sounds.
and
good.
drain the way it's supposed to.
I have another question. Once he gets these done, is there some kind of guarantee? Will he come back and repair, patch, whatever, something?
We're gonna do the potholes.
Yeah, that's on us.
Because that's gonna happen. The potholes are gonna happen.
Cause I know like on Maze Lane, we put oil sand on it, but the edges fell off.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
but
Because of
basically,
drainage.
yeah, that is because of drainage. And then, I mean, it's the nature of the beast. I mean, there's only so much we're gonna get out of the style of roads that we're gonna be able to afford in our city, and there is upkeep and maintenance and, you know, unfortunately, with us trying to grade roads and trying to do these other things, it's hard to keep up with all those things. Yeah, what we're hoping is this will allow us to focus more on the maintenance side of it rather than the sort of infrastructure side of it, because that's basically what the grading.
Well, and we're also hoping that as the city grows over the next however many years, that we actually can get to a place to where we have a road department, a water sewer department, a park
Well, I
department.
mean, even if it was. a
There's
two-man-
cities around us that
two-man
have
road
crews
crew,
that take their parks.
Yeah.
So,
I will tell you right now, if we ever got to a place where we had a two-man road crew, I mean,
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
it what we're paying them. We can't even, it's a lot cheaper than having the road crew at this point.
it's that and a grader. The thing is. We may at one point get away from the grader need in our city.
We'll have to get
Once we
back
get,
to it.
once we get the old tops, all the old sands done, we probably would be able to do it with a different type of equipment maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But until we get that state, that's what we need, and we're gonna have to have.
When's he gonna be available to start?
we gotta get.
We
the
got some
president.
impatient.
Yeah, we got, I mean, he's called both of us.
Yeah.
I said, hey, y'all need anything else from me or whatever, and it's not,
We
Yeah,
talk
really.
very regularly.
the guy had a lot of heart. He wants to see our city grow. He's had other conversations with me that we can talk about later on, but I mean. He wants to be part of helping us grow.
Yes.
So are we okay, everyone okay on that, 42,950?
So you're saying you're gonna get the other 19,000 from.
It will,
From the road.
That's right. What we're planning on doing is hoping to be able to save in these two. With his expertise to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
And sort of that's kind of like what we told him, like, look. You're gonna have to do us the right deal to be able to help us have the monies here to get us through the end of the year. And he goes, we'll get it, we're fine, I promise you.
Okay. Are we moving on to the next page?
Yes.
Equipment tires.
Grader ate up a bunch of that.
Yes.
Yeah, we spent a bunch of money on it.
I think the grader had.
Well, the grader tires were $800 a piece. So
Had four of them, didn't it?
I put 4 new ones this year.
That was new tires. I think we're there that cheap.
And then now the excavator doesn't take tires, the backhoe does. How we look.
I put tires on the backhoe during this budget year.
Oh, you did? Yeah, they're all 4.
They're new. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
And they last a couple of years.
do you really feel like 1,500 is enough to cover all the equipment?
I think for this budget year, yes.
Okay.
Now, in the next budget year, I'll have.
Right, yeah. Not to say we want to have a flat or something like that.
Right.
Equipment fuel of $2,000.
So I don't believe that I've been taking this out of the right line item. Because a lot of it's been coming from the water sewer equipment fuel budget. So what I've got to do better this year is make sure that if I'm filling up the tank. And it's 4 roads, that it comes out of roads. So right now we have 1 tank where we store our fuel. And primarily it's used for the excavator, all the digging that we have to do. But if we need to fuel up the backhoe to go through roads, we go to the same tank. So I've got to figure out a way to say, okay, this tank, roads is gonna pay for it. Does that make sense?
How many gallons is that?
500, no, that's a 400 gallon tank. No, it's 500 gallon tank.
The tank, is there a meter on that tank? Another tank, this one fills this equipment?
It does have a pump and meter. The meter hasn't worked in years. I probably could go buy a new meter for it.
That we keep other, if you can say, on a scratch sheet somewhere, I put, 20 gallons in the back of it.
Are we okay with the equipment maintenance? I mean,
Yeah.
fuel?
Yeah, fuel, yes.
Okay.
174,114 equipment maintenance and repairs, only $250.
It seems very low.
Michael,
Sorry, I'm
We're missing
Missing a digit.
a digit.
Where?
250 on equipment maintenance and repair. 250.
yeah, we are missing a digit.
Yeah,
At least.
because we're not gonna have any expenses in there, that's more, the new excavator.
No, we're not. Really, it's only gonna be if it's the trencher or it's the backhoe. So I would say that really only needs to be. Backhoe's in good shape, trencher is too. So I would say if that was $1,200, that would be more than sufficient.
That's all the equipment that would fall under that,
Well,
Yeah.
backhoe.
but there's no other equipment.
I mean, we
Not on
could
the road.
use the trencher because of the blade, but they're.
No, no,
Oh, okay, we
not
gotta,
across the road.
yeah, we gotta remember.
We got the dump truck now.
Oh, yeah, we do have the dump truck.
Yeah,
But that would fall under vehicle, not equipment.
why? Oh, well,
Well, it's a vehicle.
You're right, you're right.
yeah,
You're right.
So equipment maintenance, I'm telling you, I think $1,200 would be more than.
okay. So we're gonna change it 250 to 1,200. Okay, moving on to general liability, that's kind of a no-brainer there. Property insurance. What, how did we have $2,500 budgeted and spend $82 on property insurance?
That's, like I said, 2 more quarters. We'll
Oh,
be
okay,
hitting
right,
that on all the general liability and property.
okay,
So on vehicle maintenance and repair. Now that we do have the dump truck,
You gotta put some,
500. I mean, we fixed pretty much everything wrong with it. We just got batteries for it. Oh, and we do still need to put some tires,
I
a
know,
couple of tires.
I don't know if that would come out of your equipment.
Those are-
tires or-
Well, it'll come out, well, that's right, because it would be vehicle tires. And I don't have that, so that actually would have to come out of equipment tires. Unless we took it out of vehicle maintenance and repair
I think you're gonna have to have probably somewhere in there around 2,000.
to cover the tires for the dump truck.
Yeah, because those tires are probably gonna cost, see it at our cost, those tires are probably gonna be close to $200 a piece.
yeah, at least, but not more.
Even at our cost, they're a contract.
Yeah.
So we're going back up to equipment tires, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, no, vehicle.
No.
Vehicle maintenance
Or you
Right,
get
dump truck.
for the tires there too.
Yeah, for the,
Okay.
for the dump truck,
$2,000.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't kill me on that.
We gotta do it.
We gotta find some money.
So 174,117, vehicle maintenance and repair, we're at 2,000, is everybody comfortable with that? Jim, one, or is there any other questions, concerns, comments? Anything?
Well, we could take 174,119. Or. Oh, we didn't.
We didn't put
Give me
it
a
in
second.
there.
Gonna have to get that dump truck inspected,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna have to do that.
That's gonna be
so $25 for that.
We're not gonna purchase any equipment.
No, we got everything we need now. We had originally planned on getting another grader at when this
Yeah.
TDM, but that was TDM, I think, is what we're talking about. But this is a better deal for us anyway. Moving on to the meat of the matter of Scarport Road, we've got 50,000 for rock and sand and 40,000 for street paving material. This is what we're talking about taking to a couple of $1,000 out of street paving material.
Well,
You're gonna be about 19 out of it.
yeah. Well, why don't we
And
take,
we split it.
yeah, why don't we take rock to 48.5. And then we can take
Well, I think what we're talking about is for,
to cover the other two. That's what I'm talking about.
Great.
but what about the grading? Are we just gonna leave it there and pull it from there? Pull it
Yeah,
From there when the time comes?
yeah.
If the time comes.
if the time comes. So that's why I would be okay if we took,
Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah, that's a big,
Because at the moment now.
it's 42.5, I think.
Well, no, I mean, at what we have now.
19,000. 19,000.
22,950.
19,050.
and we're gonna split that
Yeah.
between the two, so.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
was
mean,
trying to figure out how many gradings, how many weeks we have, what's on the line item now. We got almost 8 weeks.
right, and some of the
It
rock,
affords us almost 8, yeah, it affords us almost 8 weeks right now, and we were thinking that. We're trying to shoot for the stars, but this may go great. And we come down to the, man, we won.
well, Leon's right too, but he's gonna do 2 or 3 roads tomorrow.
So I think that's where we came up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
So you're going to take your rock down to cover your shortfall?
yes. I
So
figured if we-
46,775.
If we take the 50 down to, well, even if we just take it to 48, that's 2 right there, and then we can take 1,500 off the 40. So,
It's 25,000.
no, it'd be,
At least at 15.
1,500 off of it.
Oh, 1,500. Okay.
38.5, so 48 and 38.5.
Very happy with it.
Okay. Okay, all right, we good with that? Was that 48.5 on the rock?
48,000 on
Okay.
the rock and 38.5 on the street pavement.
Okay, these culverts,
Yeah,
we're upside down here. Okay, on the front page, we're showing we're only bringing in $2,000, but we're spending $3,000. So am I not thinking these are culvert permits or,
No, this is if we need to, the city just needs to replace a culvert like right there at Arrowhead and Comanche.
but when we buy a culvert for somebody,
That's the customer paying for it. This
This
is,
is street.
this is us repairing it because we need to repair it.
This isn't like a driveway. It's
right,
street.
right.
This is like,
But
we need to, because of maybe what we're doing on the roads now to make the roads work well.
Well, no, not actually. If it's a culvert at somebody's driveway to their home, they
Then
have,
they pay
they
for
have
it.
to pay. for it.
Yes.
But if we need a culvert.
Yes,
and how much are the
between two
culverts
streets.
Between two
that these
streets.
people pay for
Like Expressway
for their home? That's why I'm thinking that the culvert money's low.
It is low because I mean, let's say it's just a 15 inch and it's a 20 foot. 20 foot, 15 inch, what's that, $1,200? Right in that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
they're up, they're way up there.
They went way up. It used to, you're talking 650, now it's about $1,200.
So should we change our income? That's what I'm saying, because when we.
Yeah, on the culverts that they would pay for, yes.
Now, I will tell you that a lot of the culverts, they go by that culvert, they install it, they're doing inspection.
We do, they
Yeah.
can, that's one option, but sometimes they choose for us to do.
Yeah, sometimes they don't have somebody that they can do
Yeah.
it. So do we, that's what I'm wondering, if we need to increase that
And you said we had that 3,000?
2,000.
How much is it per permit?
Well, the permit is,
But if we do the culvert, we don't
I'm
charge.
trying to remember. I changed my-
I think it's 75. It'd be over the.
I can go grab it real quick.
Maybe,
On the price sheet.
I think it may be 75, 60, 75, somewhere in there. It's under 100.
But like we were
think it's
talking
under
about
100.
40 new homes. And that's not, that'd be 40. times-
Yeah, but that's not, that wouldn't go there. That would go in the permits. That's it.
Well, listen, let
It-
me say it one more time. If we do a culvert for a citizen, there is no. permit. We put the culvert, in. They're paying for the culvert.
I mean, what is it?
Permits?
Yeah, because they're gonna pay $1,800 for that.
I'm glad you clarified that, because that's the main reason why I did that. It's my quote from our city.
Let me go grab that.
That was my deciding factor. I said, I'm not paying for a permit if y'all are doing the culvert.
Hey, y'all have any permit money back?
Yeah. you might want to talk about
Oh, because you let them change yours or put yours in?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the main, I just, the principle of it, I said, no.
Your grandfather is.
Yeah, they pay the permit if they're putting their own.
All right, so did we change this or what?
Do you think it looks good or not? That's.
I mean, I think a safe number I wouldn't go above would be 5,000. And that's if you're doing
So maybe.
three
increase it,
culverts.
increase it to
Or
3,000.
culverts. Yeah,
So we wanna raise it next to two? Where we gonna pull it out of?
Oh, that's
So
income.
that's income.
That's what we've been doing. So you wanna go from 2 to 3,000?
Or
I would say, I mean, with what's going on, it's not uncommon for them to come to us and have us put them in, so. We could go with 3,000, I guess it'd be better to be over on the income, so. You know what,
No, you're right. So the way our thing is going, culverts, installs including material and labor. We base it off the most current
Of the
price.
cost, right.
We do it. If we're just giving them a permit, it's $30.
Okay,
right,
I think the pool.
And the whole 75 for above ground, the below ground's higher.
Okay, so are we okay on the culverts at 3,000?
that's what I'm changing it to.
Three.
yeah, because if we go over to 3,000, that's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Get back to.
Oh, yeah.
Income, that's the line.
Police. So now we're at overtime, basically.
Street signs.
Streets on.
So we have right now some street signs that we need to get up. I believe I have what I need. I don't believe I need any more. We have stop signs now. We have new street signs to replace street signs, so I believe for now we're fine.
The only thing, Harrelson,
I will say this, I'm sorry, I do need to order, but I still have some money in this year's budget. I need to order the T brackets for the top of the pole.
yeah,
I need to order some of those.
well, we gotta remember Harrelson's all this spell.
Yes, it is. And one last thing on that, street signs, if it's okay with the council, the ones I got them and get put up, but I would like moving forward to put our city emblem on the street signs. It's not much more expensive. So we can get the Catfish capital symbol on the street sign, like Rockwall has their little sailboat.
You say it's not much, well, it's not much
40, 50 bucks more per sign,
per sign.
per sign.
How much is it per sign?
62.
There's 62 for each individual street sign.
So it's almost double.
And when you say 62, is that the plus or is that just one of them?
That's
That's
just one.
that's just one.
And it's also based on letters and length.
Yeah.
We have some streets like Opal, that sign's like a $18 or $19 sign.
I mean, I think if we're doing it, obviously, we're not just running around changing signs.
No,
I think if you're doing it
as they need to
as
be
they're
replaced.
needed, the impact's little.
Right.
Yeah,
Robert, you have something?
What if you just did the emblem on the major thoroughfares, like, like Maze Lane or Rapco,
Not a
just,
bad idea.
you know,
I hate to
and
double
then
the
you, and then
street
if you
signs.
need to, you
No.
can start replacing the other street signs.
that wasn't my idea. My idea was it's just as they need to be replaced,
Mhm,
5 here, 10 there. That was my thought, but
mhm.
this is just me trying to look into the future, trying to bring us up.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a cool idea. I mean, we don't replace street signs every day,
No,
right? I'm not a big fan of it, but if it's.
Our
not
stop
broke,
sign's
don't fix
really moss.
Yeah.
It really is. It's got moss on it. You can't hardly see it.
I'm gonna let them read me.
Yeah,
Alex talked about receiving.
that's how old it is.
So the work order in,
Yeah.
On our street too. Keeps going
that's
up.
what I,
Okay.
that's what I do. I fix.
So we're gonna leave street signs at 1,000? Everybody?
I think that's good, don't you?
I'm sorry, what was the
Street signs at 1,000?
Yes,
I mean, even if we call them $100 a piece, that gives you 10 signs a year, you're probably not changing 10 signs a year.
no,
And they do have a big, quite a bit of stock of them.
I will say this, if you buy 15, 20 signs, that you get a nice size discount.
Yeah.
For buying them, and then they're not charging you for like Harrelson, all those letters. Now it's just one price for all the signs.
Does that include the poles as well?
No, I have to buy those separately, and right now those are hard to find at the local hardware store.
Okay, so we're moving on from, fixed signs to sewer rental. If we do any, or Grady does any old sand. I'm sure that doesn't include the roller.
No,
How much is it for rent a roller per day?
I can tell you the weekly price,
Oh, what was that?
$800 something dollars. And that's for the little bitty. If we were to actually get the 4 or 5 foot drum, it's $1,500 a week. At United Rentals, or something.
What is that? This one's hard to project, equipment rental. Because we don't know how much old sand we're gonna put down, and we probably won't know.
And we don't always roll it either, it just depends.
Yeah. Any questions or comments, concerns on the equipment?
So we spent 4820. What was that mainly on?
That was on a roller, but we had it for,
Yeah, we had quite a while.
yeah. All the roads that I was doing, that's so,
Yeah, we did
What,
quite
a
a bit
month?
of old sanding, but didn't
Like
get
a
done
month and
everything
a
we
week.
needed.
something like that.
Yeah, we had a real big price increase to us on oil sand. We were getting it for the dirt cheap last year, but somebody was hauling it for free.
Right.
We didn't pay a penny for transportation. We were just purchasing the oil sand on.
So we spent 4820. We're planning on doing a lot more road work.
Right, but it's. So the difference between me and him doing it is if, let's say, I have to put a guy on a roller. He's gonna be constantly working. Whereas when I was blading and grading, he wasn't constantly working. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I don't see it being nowhere near that amount.
You're comfortable with the 2000?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Mike, you did a hell of a job with the budget. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You
Yeah,
really
we
did a
had
good
to change
job.
every other line item.
Do what? Well,
Thanks, Chris.
on this
Thanks,
one,
Chris.
the fun part of it, but you know, there's some really, there's intricacies on this, the general fund side of, the water sewer, or roads rather. So it's really hard. Harder than the regular budget of water sewer, so, but you've done a really good job on all of it, really. So any other questions on, roads and material, equipment, anything? So we're ready to move on to the park, what? Oh, okay. So now we're moving on to the Parks Department. How many weeks? We got 3,000 on park salary.
Yes,
How much is that per day or per week?
it's
And
for
how many weeks are we talking about?
per month,
Per month. So how much are we talking about per month?
spring and summer, 500 a month, which is what we talked about last budget year. And I can't remember exactly why it got doubled to 6,000, but 3,000 will cover spring and summer. That's all that's necessary. Now, there is a caveat to this. Starting to have second thoughts about, what direction we should go. I still believe in having a park host, which I will be soon interviewing for that again. But with that being said, I think the days of Randy Lee, those were good days. We generated
A lot of
$14,000 for the park.
Oh, yeah.
So having an actual park host generated a ton of
Oh,
revenue,
yeah.
and we never worried about the park.
I know.
And if any other small groups went out there to decorate, he was there with them.
Yeah.
But we did have the RVs too.
We had the
We might
RVs that
want
did
to-
help, but I don't know, it's just something that I'm.
Not for the park rentals at that time.
Uh,
Because remember, we were collecting the money and it was in our farm.
But I will say though, if you take out the RVs we have. Tell me a time that he did not have all those concrete slots full of RVs
Yeah.
throughout the summer. He had people who would drive from Alabama, Georgia, Florida, just to come to our park.
Yeah,
So I guess where I'm going with this is this. I think what we need to do is give this one more year of having a park host there, the way that we planned. And if it does not work out, I think in the next budget year, we need to seriously consider having a full-time park host or a part-time. Randy was part-time, right? In that.
yeah,
And that's also with the mindset that the park next year at this time, hopefully I've got my frisbee golf in there, pickleball. That is way bigger than I could have ever imagined it was. And if we can get these kind of things there, we're gonna draw a lot of people there. So I don't know, my thought is I'm gonna start interviewing for a park host here probably in the next 30 days. And we'll do this one more year, and if we can get to a place where we can actually have someone who is a part-time park host, we might ought to consider.
okay. All right,
Sorry about the long one.
no, that's fine. So everybody okay with 30,000? Okay, moving on to park utilities, 5,000. That park utilities, that's just electric only, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
We've been spending anywhere from the mid threes to mid $500, which I believe the biggest contributing factor to that is the park host. As far as electricity usage, the 300 to 500. I think that's being realistic that unit, especially the older unit that we got in there, even a newer unit, those things draw a lot of power. I'm not saying all.
I've got one at my house, and my middle child is living in the RV, and I had a pedestal put in off of my main power pole. And he's costing me about $125 a month. So my electric bill right now at home is $400 a month. It's primarily my house. He's using about $125. So something that big, that old, I can see it maybe using 350, 400, but I can see it 500.
Well,
That's just my thought.
we had a couple of months I think last year, that it was in the fives. There was some forward and five. There was a couple of months it was 500, which I'm sure was peak summer.
Yeah, our average right now is $380.
Yeah. We're okay with the park utilities. Everybody,
Man,
I think we'll be good.
all right, let's
We still
move
have
on.
2 more months to play.
You trigger point. So we're going into parks and equipment, repair and maintenance, 2,000.
I need to replace the barrel on the playground. The barrel roller, I need to replace that. It's the one the kids stand on and try to walk on it. The
Oh,
bars are messed up and blowed out, so I need to repair all that, and I was looking into replacing the slide.
So that's
Yeah.
that's under equipment.
It's not again, it's the same slide. We
no, I
repaired the
know,
slide.
but we
We repaired it.
oh, we did that, when was it?
Well, that's not, that would be under, that would be
2
under
years ago.
playground. That'd be under playground. This is under equipment, like lawn mowers.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We're on my apologies.
I didn't know about anyway.
2,000 would be planned. I forgot. This is for the park mower, which, and we never replaced water sewer tractor, but we do have a tractor that is the park tractor. So we got a tractor and we got a. And then, do you remember which one was which? Did the Ford belong to the park or did it belong to water sewer? The Ford tractor.
I don't remember.
I guess
That
I've
was-
never
yeah,
seen that.
Well, we had 2 tractors.
The blue.
Yeah, the Ford. And I can't remember. Leon, do you know?
Well,
Do you know
Seen them.
What was the question?
that old blue Ford tractor?
Yeah.
Was that the parks? Because I thought the New Holland was water sewer, but then I was told it wasn't. I was told the New Holland was bought for the park And the Ford, when we sold it, we were supposed to replace it for water sewer. I can't remember.
I'm not sure the park ever had one. I think it was just borrowed from
Public Works.
Public Works. Even when Randy Lee was there, I think he had to borrow it. And when they all used it for something else, you know, he couldn't use it.
That doesn't matter right now. Just-
No, you're right.
So basically, we're talking about a tractor and a mower. The tractor's doing fine. We put it in the shop, had it repaired, and the mower, I don't know, I think, what, Kevin, maybe in a year or two, we'll probably have to, we're gonna have to buy a new mower.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's getting to where the maintenance on the mower is getting up there. I think 2,000 would be enough for it. But
To repair it, yeah.
to repair it, yeah,
Next year, we need to be looking,
3,500 at least for a new zero.
you're talking about
Yeah.
8,500,
So get another big Ferris.
not fair.
What's wrong with the fair?
Gene,
I've got one. I've had it for 8 years. It's great.
Gene.
Well, I paid $4,800. Something like that. No, pretty good.
All right, so
Okay.
2,000.
Okay, you're okay with that number?
Yep. I tell you something we do need out there. We need to buy a VR trip.
Yes.
You can buy one. I've got one. I've had
Bucks.
about 600 with electric start, and I've had one for 6-7 years,
Yeah, I just had one too.
and it works great.
Oh, yeah, I had one.
Well, I took it out there the other day and mowed on the playground because the grass was came through there, and it knocks it down real good. If we can knock it all down and then spray some solution on there, there's a solution you can get with Dawn and
Don and Epsom salt.
and salt and all that, and try to kill all that grass, but we can at least keep it knocked down with that trimmer. It throws the mulch just a little bit. You know, you wouldn't want to mow it, you wouldn't want to do it short, but.
But will it cut into that vinyl fence? Well, I mean.
No, it's just like a weed eater.
No, I know, well, I mean, you'd be surprised what a weed eater will do.
Well, it
Even
didn't,
a wood.
well, when they put the base, the border around the fencing, they put it on the inside. So you're hitting that on the inside.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so, moving to park improvements, 17812.
What about fuel? Are you needing fuel on there for when you mow and all that?
No, it's been coming out of the other two, the old.
Okay. Okay, and you said something about needing some new playground equipment.
I do, which I had planned on using the park improvements and, the park playground equipment repair and maintenance. Together, that's $3,000. A slide, believe it or not, is over $1,000. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I've ordered some playground books from different manufacturers. And there's many different scenarios we can go with a slide, but you're talking cheap, $1,200 is cheap. So anyways, the slide is at a place now where it really needs to be repaired
You talking about
or
the
replaced.
big one?
Yeah, the yellow one.
There's,
Oh, yeah.
how many are on that equipment? Aren't there 3?
There's 2 little ones and
And
then the
they're,
big
and those
one.
are still in good shape?
They're, I think they'll survive another season. That yellow one's getting real bad.
Why don't you just go ahead and do all 3 of them if you're gonna do one?
I don't think you can buy those slides for that piece of equipment anymore.
No, the one I'm looking at, you
You're gonna-
basically have to buy some parts to make it work.
You're
with
gonna have
that
to
structure.
Yeah.
But that actual playground equipment, Leon, the actual playground itself, the slide and climbing thing, all that.
Right.
I got a catalog from the company who made that. And they actually do still make it. They just, the material looks a little different. But they have a kit you can buy to replace the slide to make it work with that.
Very. Cause I think Susan told me back when I had that thing fixed, it was. I was thinking, she told me it was like $6,000 just for the slide.
Well, we were,
That's
if I
why,
remember correctly, we were looking at a bigger, longer slide.
Yeah.
That went out further.
Another thing I noticed too on the park, I was told the last time we had a park there on the lake, it's been playing out there. And the swings
have some rough edges on them that cut finger while they were out there. So
Because
we
we
might,
painted those with our hands.
you might want to look at the swings and see
Okay.
what's going
This
on.
one
with
even
them.
says
Maybe the
for mine.
seats on them.
The feet on.
Oh, the
You
seat.
know what? It is time to replace a few of those as well.
But
But, you know, I have to try to chisel away at this a little bit every year. So
So what about park improvements and park playground repair and maintenance? Are we okay with the 3,000 combined, 2,000, 1,000?
if we're gonna spend 1,000 on a slide alone, that leaves you 2,000 to do everything else. That's seems a little low.
well, I mean, you know, again, we're talking about general fund. And, you know, we have all these priorities in all these different areas. I think, I'm not saying that the park should take a backseat in any way. But what I'm saying is we have to make sure that we're prioritizing all these other things. So I think 3,000 for now is a good place to start. And maybe, you know, next budget year, we have a better idea of what we're gonna spend on all these other things.
Okay.
And if the GDC fixes our bathrooms, we got $2,000 there.
Well, what I was thinking, which that's something that we got talked about, 2,000, I had mentioned to you, you know, besides doing a refurbishment of the bathrooms themselves, having the outdoor showers. Kind of like when you go to the state park and you put, you know, 4 quarters in there, you can go in there and take a shower. So it'd be a way. Okay,
So just tear the machine up and steal the board.
okay, well. Trying to find ways to have the park have
Ask
some
him if
revenue.
ask him if he thinks it's a good idea.
I don't care. what you have.
Hire 24-hour security for the park.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if we got a park host staying there, I would. hope that
Yeah,
makes
but
the
even
phone
if
call.
they're staying way up there and you put it.
I don't want to put that on a park host.
They don't allow that thing.
What
Well,
about,
just shoot my idea down, my goodness. Thanks. Okay.
okay, let's move on to the park restroom repair and maintenance. We haven't got any bids yet.
No,
Have you ever, I think his name is Greg Moore, maybe from East Tawakoni. I called a commercial, one of the guys, well, he didn't live here, he used to own a business, he still owns a business here, which is a master plumber, and he suggested, I think his name is Greg Moore, and he's walking here, Chuck Moore, maybe? Chuck Moore, is that who it is? We need to get some bids on that. But I think the cost of it, we know it's gonna be, if we leave the current equipment in there and fix the electronic valve and all that, we're looking at a minimum of 7,000 minimum.
so we have to replace the copper lines. We have to every year. When it freezes, it doesn't matter what we do, those lines pop. So we're repairing it every year. What I'm trying to do is go to the PEX, because then we don't, that's no longer a problem. So the lowest bid we got when we first started looking at this was $7,900. That was the low side.
But weren't we talking about just completely gutting?
Well, we were talking about getting rid of all the copper, getting rid of all the sensors, and just having those push button 30-second, 45-second amount of water. On the toilet, same thing. You push. the
I
button
thought we were
and it
talking
flushes.
about replacing the toilets, sinks, everything.
Well, that might be something we have to do. I don't know yet. So. But we've looked at many different options. And
Yeah,
getting away from those sensors seems to
Yeah.
be the best option.
I know.
Because we've replaced them now, what, 4 years in a row?
And they're high. you
And
can't-
they're $1,200.
Yeah, you can't find the
There's
part.
only one person.
Locally,
It's
anyway.
proprietary.
Yeah.
really, man. Well, and Michael and I, that was a hot point that we talked about today when I spoke about it. I actually gave him a couple other people that I had found too, that he's gonna reach out.
Okay,
Uh,
so are we okay with that, then leaving it like it is?
I say it's.
Yeah,
Does toilet paper and all that stuff go out of there?
that comes out.
Yeah, there's nothing on there down for supplies.
Because I've been taking it from water sewer. So. Janitorial supplies. That how you want.
Case of that paper that we buy is usually about $60 to $75.
And we only need what, maybe a case or two a year?
I would say two,
So $120 I covered.
put 200.
All right.
Okay, moving on to the Parks Department, total parks, I'm sorry, 15,000, we've made, that number is gonna change.
15 to
200.
What is it?
15,200.
15,200.
Y'all want me to go add these up to know what it is? If you look on the back page, the column that we've been working on is the one here that we were, we were $7,800 short according to our revenue. We added 1,000, so we're 6,800 short. But we've made changes along the way. You want me to go add this and see what it comes to, so we'll know.
Well, we need
where
to
we need
know, I'd
pull
rather,
it from.
rather do it now than wait till tomorrow and
Well,
find out,
well,
when I come
we-
back.
right. The, okay, on the, police column, that out to the side, that total of 338 is with the chief and 3 officers and not a part-time, and that leaves us some money in there. That leaves
That
us
you're gonna
around
need.
20, well, it would be around 29,000, but then I'm gonna have some adjustments here after I refigure this. So, do we want to go with that, or do we just want to see where we can add, you know, if there's a possibility for more revenue?
I can see if there's a possibility of getting that
So
extra.
let me go do some checks. Like to not have to pay.
I'm missing Kim, I keep looking over there, looking.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm looking at help.
A lot of good parks up around Lake Louisville. It's like a honor system. And it's like $5 to launch a boat, and they have a box there, and you put in the $5 and you put in a slip of paper with your license plate on it.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do that. Oh, like this.
Well, I think you can.
We're doing it with,
Yeah, but there's a utility there that's being paid back. There's electricity and there's water and there's sewer. I don't think you can do that with the program.
oh, you know, okay, I see what you're saying.
We charge them for 10 cents.
Yeah, but there's really, I don't know. We might want to check with SRA. I'm not sure how that works. We might be able to, since we upkeep the park. I don't know.
We got to find a bomb-proof box.
But it's going, but I can tell you right now, it's gonna be
One of the guys, they kind of forgot about the suit, was that you that dug that money out?
No.
The suit behind the restrooms in the park.
oh,
Well, I got somebody was out there doing something, all of a sudden they came in with this paper, it looked like it'd been stored underground or something. Was it Danny? Well, being,
Yeah, you
But
can't-
I see where you're going, and you're not gonna get probably 3 out of 10, right?
Trying, and it's just an honorary deal, and we're not gonna have anybody to check it anyway, there's somebody go out there once a week or something and pull the money out of it.
right,
You
right.
know, so, but, if it'll pay for the box and then start making money, then.
Yeah.
Problem is where it's at. That box back there in that back.
It'd have to
You
be
have to
one,
check it every
You
day.
have to make sure
it'd have to
that.
be one bad moment, channel.
Yeah. And it had to be checked daily.
Or the other thing we could do is come up with some way to do it on your phone with the internet and just pay it straight to the city.
Well, and that,
Punch in, take a picture of their license plate of their car, send it to the city with $5.
well, that's what I would like for us at some point, you know, we talked about that
Way behind times.
everywhere
A
you go.
lot of
It's
cities
just
do
something
that,
to think about.
parking and
They're all
things.
doing it.
And we've been talking about, our new website should have the support for that. That was
Yeah.
one of the questions that was asked by all of us.
Right.
Would your website support us having, I forget what they call that, it's like,
I don't think. And,
well,
the things like that would give you more money to put back into improving that area. You know, it's all dirt back there and rock and, but, you know, we need to improve the dock there and put some lights on the ramp. And, you know, there's a lot of things that need to be done there. And if they could generate some money that would pay for a lot of that, we can improve.
Yeah, I may be overreacting a little bit. And I know this is good, healthy conversation. But should we really be discussing this?
probably not.
Well, we're discussing income here on this
Well, no,
general fund. I'm just trying to come up with some more income.
yeah,
Right, I was looking at that same. You're talking. It's trending pretty darn good.
Yeah.
We're liable to blow out this number. With us still having a few months to go.
yeah, we had a little bit of traffic in the park.
We have, that's what I'm saying. If we can continue this trend, we should be able to raise that. I mean, really. I mean, we blew last,
$1,100 though.
we blew last year's out,
Mhm. What line item is, are the camping fees on?
doubled last year.
What?
The camping fees?
No.
That we collect.
That's gonna be income.
That will,
Parking. That's what I'm saying. We doubled last year's forecast.
Mhm.
What was it? Because we weren't-
2,000.
I was gonna say we weren't expecting much.
And
but
we're at 41.27.
Like Michael was alluding to when Randy was here, that park stayed, there was a lot of campers
Yeah.
all the time.
You did a lot. Yeah, you know.
It really did. It paid for everything. And he was part-time.
And she, I can't hear when you talk about. I think that one should go over with what we just had coming through our town.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but it never got.
What's that?
The telephone franchise.
Oh. I
There
ain't
should be
looked
more
at that.
money coming from that, because when they came in here and talked to us, it was asked, and we were supposed to be discussing that
Are
later.
you talking about the Frontier?
Yeah, since telephone franchise, that's-
What is it? We don't have anything budgeted, do we?
we got 1,800 budget, we're 1,272 right now. 1272,
18,000?
no, 1,800,
For a franchise,
yeah,
we're
it
getting,
seems ridiculous.
we're getting tens of thousands of dollars. from NBC
No,
and San
no,
Francisco.
try 85,000. from
Yeah.
NBC.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry.
Something's wrong right there,
Mm-hmm.
big wrong.
What, you don't think we're getting?
I get what should be, that's crazy. That's,
I'm not looking at
I think
it.
I'm gonna put a public.
Well, it should go up like you said, with all this.
First way, but when you compare to these and sanitary solutions, something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong without even looking at what we're improving with now.
Well, I mean, we budgeted 80, well, last year we budgeted 88, brought in 85,000. The telephone,
Am I off? Am I looking here?
I don't know, but FBC franchise.
That's FEC, I'm talking about telephone,
Well, I know it's right below it.
nothing.
There's nothing on the top.
I mean, it's, well, it's.
It's VOIP. I think this probably, that's not for AT and whoever supplies that's just for the office, I think, that we get that, you know, for the office phones. Phone.com,
Franchise fee?
that's what I'm thinking, I'd have to ask an ad, but I don't think it like Verizon, it's not our cell phones or or the
Well,
city.
It wouldn't be cell phones. What I'm
landline.
talking about should be the landlines, all of like the people that just came in and tore up the water. line.
You gotta remember too, there's not that many people anymore that even uses landlines, so if you
Well,
look.
They don't use the landline, but they use the line in the ground for their internet. And all those people are gonna switch from DSL to the fiber. So that's what I'm getting at, is we should be getting a franchise fee from these people. Because what is your internet, $100 a month? Or 70 something a
Seven
month?
some bucks a month, yeah. for-
Times-
Internet, yeah, 75.
I mean, times, let's just call it 1,000. Pretty good lick they're sitting on there.
Yeah.
For internet,
Oh.
we would need a line item for internet franchise.
I gotta ask her about that. It's something we probably all.
I don't think we talked to them.
I'm glad we got.
We
hung
did,
up
because
on
they were
this
our phone provider,
Yeah,
so they just, you know, use their existing
Line item.
stuff, and
I'm glad we got hung up
it,
on this.
it needs to be increased.
There was a conversation when those folks came in and spoke with us.
Mayor, would it be okay if we took a 5-minute recess?
that's fine.
We need just.
I think it's just good.
Can't.
Okay, sign that up.
can't-
No, we just,
No,
we
we
know, we can move around, whatever.
I
Take a
want-
5-minute recess.
You want rates?
Sure. Let's go.
I'm gonna rate these across the board.
What kind of shoes you got on? Nah, I ain't racing.
Hey, man, it's
I ain't running over.
fast shoes, boy. Better get ready. I'm not racing the team.
So.
No, we still got police specialist.
How do we look at the end?
It won't take long, we'll just finish now. We did it.
We have a special park fund, and meeting special fund.
They're just little bitty, they're not.
Yeah, there's one here. They're each one, right? There
Oh,
should
okay.
be park special and community special, yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Those aren't, long-term sitting chairs. She usually has.
Ain't got nobody to take me out. Well, no, not out. John runs fast. I get used to not seeing none of it. Oh. I saw it somewhere else.
No, chasing people.
Good stuff.
Ideas.
Sorry about that, everyone. We just had a little recalculation just to make sure numbers matched up and everything. So what did that leave us at?
We're short 38, $3,810.47.
38,
1047.
10.47. Okay, we have to go back to the drawing board.
So we need to be on our income side, right?
Yes.
So I was looking while we were waiting on her to do that. I think if we look at park income, we should be able to make an adjustment there. I mean, do you feel pretty comfortable? We're gonna keep somebody in there. We're gonna get somebody in here,
Yes,
okay? And we're 4127 right now. For the year, and we budgeted 2,000 last year. We've doubled it.
so we could probably move that to what, 6,000?
Yeah, I think that's increasing it by 1,500, right?
Yeah, I'm just worried about that. I don't know. It's one of those things it's
So, here's a-
almost impossible to budget because.
Well, I know, but here's the only reason why I say it, Mayor, is I feel like some of the people that were here this year, now that they know our park's back open, right? We went through COVID, we went through all these things, our park was closed a lot for a lot of that time. People that came this year, they're probably gonna come back next year, right? And we've got the market on the lake that there's been some people that I think, dang, it seems like every time I've been to Market on the Lake, there's always 2 or 3 campers that are there. I don't know if they came because it's that weekend or what, you know? So, I mean, we've got some things that are attracting people,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be continuing to do more work in the park.
I'd like to also make a suggestion if I could, on your fence permits, you got a lot of new homes that are fixing to be built.
Well, I want to go further than that. If you look at 1.50.135, the certificate of occupancy for new homes and rentals, we got nothing budgeted. And we just talked about maybe 40 homes or something like that, so we don't have anything.
Well, we have a question on the COs on the homes.
Yeah.
What's the question? See Shannon too, so.
So when it comes to mobile homes, Bureau Veritas does not really do our COs. So instead of COs, we're doing the CSI inspection to get the CO. So that's the CSI inspection is city income, correct?
Yes,
Mhm.
that would be water sewer.
We've got-
doing the
it's
It's our
got
inspection.
it.
customer service.
Yes, but it should go under the,
But on these brand new homes,
On the brand new homes,
do they charge or will they do, or is that up to us to do the final inspection?
well.
On new homes, they will, but on the mobile homes, we will have to do them.
But
but I don't think that's
Right,
been
right.
being done.
But wouldn't that money, from us doing a mobile home CO, wouldn't that money still go back into that line item instead of the,
Well,
it doesn't go to
Well,
water?
It's not a CO, it's a CSI.
It's
Oh,
on-
yeah.
And it's on the second page.
There is-
We have income.
There is-
We do have income, but
We're gonna have homes actually this year.
Yeah, we are gonna have homes.
what are we charging? What are we charging for CO for a stick built home?
So for a regular CO is $100 for a residential. For commercial. There's different
That's,
levels of
that's
commercial.
not included in your building permit.
What, a CSI?
No,
No,
CO.
CO.
Oh,
Yeah,
There's
CO
We
inspections.
have an occupancy permit for new businesses. We got income of $1,000 for that. For business.
Yeah, this
Well-
is just a home. So let's just call it, if it's $100 a piece, let's just say 15 of them. That should be pretty darn conservative. We know we've got,
Mhm.
right now, we've got several houses being built, right?
Yes.
So let's just say 15, that's conservative as all get out. That's $1,500.
I agree.
So those two alone should cover it.
So the CO new home, we agree with,
We're still gonna
Eddie.
be
Yeah, we're a little bit still short.
about
That's-
$1,000.
Well, I honestly think your fence permits, you really should increase that.
That's $3,000. We're still $810.47.
Well, you gotta imagine these new homes are gonna want pretty new fences.
Another thing, we've got, if you go down to 152, 119, like, another CO for new business. We've got a couple of businesses now that we probably haven't done.
What are those permits? What
Did
is
we,
that?
and did we do
Business.
fat
Small
cats?
business,
Did we, have we?
Yeah, we did fat.
We
cat.
did, but we haven't done Lake Country. We haven't done Bowers. What else is? That's all I think.
But they don't have to get a CO unless it's a new business. Unless, a new business or a new owner.
Right, that's
It's the
what,
way-
that's what.
That's what he's
No,
referring
That's
to.
what you're talking about, both of those.
They changed things.
Yeah, and then they've gone from nightly or weekend or whatever to long-term apartments is what it's been.
The new business, I don't actually know what that one is.
I was thinking it was 150.
I think so too.
150.
That makes sense of what the actual is then. That makes sense of what the actual is.
Well, yeah, if you look at last year's budget on the CO new homes and rentals. We budgeted 1,000 and brought in 100, so something's. I know we did more than that.
But too, I don't want to look past what Michael was saying. I mean, the fence permits too.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have houses that are gonna come in, they're gonna have to have fence permits, because a lot of them are gonna put fences up, I'm sure.
They're 25 apiece.
Well, and a lot of the new houses are gonna have culverts too.
Right, but
So
on
that's
your
gonna
bigger
go up.
developments, you're doing that themselves. It's the single developments where that's where we would go.
So do we want to add something to the 1.52.119 occupancy permit new business? 125 a piece.
I think we're at least add 5 to it.
So the new business is gonna be 150.
Okay,
New
so
business,
then that's 6.
So it's 100 for residential, it's
So that's
150.
$900.
That's 900.
So we make that one 1,900.
Make,
But 6 new businesses. I mean,
you talking about,
on top of what we're already planning for.
you talking about 1,900 on CO new business?
Occupancy per permit.
Right, yeah, that's what I
That's
said.
13 new businesses essentially yearly. Stretching our neck.
That is really stretching.
I don't know that, I'd love to see.
You said 150 piece, or
Oh.
150?
Or
And
maybe
we did the CO
1,500.
Circle K,
I don't see 10 businesses.
I don't either.
How
We
much
got,
is it?
we gotta do more than what's on there, because if we do the math on the 150 right now, with what's there, that's no point. Number 666666666.
don't need that.
I'm just saying, We're gonna have
Okay.
one, we're gonna have one anyway.
So.
Well, if you look at, well, you look at the sales tax, city,
What about
Before we get off that,
re-inspections? We don't have anything on re-inspection.
Let's make it $1,200.
for,
Take baby steps. That's adding 2 more businesses than what we're forecasting right now.
so make it 1,000 and 1,200.
Yeah. 1,200. We got $610.
What were these annual safety inspections? That we're not doing anymore.
Yeah, what was that?
And what about re-inspections?
They don't charge for the
Ah,
Yeah, we don't have a we don't have a reinspection.
Yeah, nor.
What's funny is.
Yeah, because the inspection is all part of the permit.
Yeah, that's how.
what would, the grease trap inspections fall under?
Well, no,
Grease trap inspections are restaurants, our restaurants.
Right.
It's right now, we've got 400 budgeted for a grease trap inspection.
are we doing it?
Yes.
What did you say?
What's that cost?
Grease trap inspection, new constructions, 150. Grease trap inspection 3 times annually, 60.
60
Hang on.
for 3 times or 60 each time?
That's exactly how it's worded. It's
It needs to be
grease trap
60
inspection
each
3
time.
times
How many?
So it'd be 180 bucks.
So we would do it 3 times, so it'd be 60 times 3.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
so it'd be 180 bucks and we've got 1, 2,
It's gonna be.
3 business. All right.
No,
No,
we
you gotta do
We've
4.
got Billy, we've got.
Really? Oh, yeah, Billy.
We got Purple C, Purple Cage.
Sean,
1, 2.
the other
No, we
side.
don't.
5.
4,
Should
5.
be 5.
So that's 300 bucks right there.
But if the veterans clubs are cooking, they would have a grease trap
Yeah,
as well.
and Vets and
Good
the American
point.
Legion would for sure. And isn't there a third one?
I don't think they have.
You heard what?
Well, they should have.
That should.
So personal home fire.
Yeah.
We need to find out if
Either.
we got an ordinance or something
Anyway,
on there.
Leon, what was we
Something
talking
we got
about
on
here?
paper for,
I was.
because we have not been. doing that.
And we're supposed to be.
Yeah, we're supposed to be,
We're supposed to be
because we've had, they have turned in reports here.
Well, there's our saving grace right there is the grease trap. We're only budgeted 400, so we got 5 businesses, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
What, I'm not.
It's not-
There's 5 that do.
5 at least,
that have-
Yeah.
It'd be
times
900.
180.
Yeah, that's
900,
$900.
okay. So let's change 152, 165 grease trap from 4 to 900. Does that put us where we need to be?
We still did not change though the fence permits like you did.
No. No, we didn't.
10 of them would be $250.
Yeah,
Not-
and you can only imagine, I mean, right now, we're predicting 40, so. Let's just say 10 new fences, he's right.
Well, most of those 40 are the mobile homes, not stick built.
They want fences too in some
Okay.
places.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do that. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to what Leon was saying, read the 1.52.122 re-inspections. No, I'm sorry.
One of those.
Annual safety, one about it, 1.52.120, annual safety.
That would have to be business related.
So what was that? It's been budgeted every year and we haven't used it this year. So what are we not,
Is
what are
that-
we not doing?
Is that what we did at Wagon Wheel? But
Oh,
they didn't charge them
Did
for
that
that.
under inspection, $1,000 for that inspection, right?
You know what, annual safety inspection, I think,
Wouldn't that be, smoke detectors?
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we used to, the city used to do that, and I always want to say this because I think I was at a business here in town when the city came by.
Did he come by and do it under the city or did he come by and do
No, it was under the city, it was the code enforcement, I think it
Yeah, I know.
was code enforcement, and I don't want, I'm not gonna mention names, we don't need to be doing that. And I think it was $60, what is this? Annual safety inspection? It's like you don't have a choice. I mean. If you got a business. And then one of the things you're supposed to.
At 60.
$60. I don't know how I remember that. But it's supposed to be $60, and that's every business in our city is supposed to get an annual inspection every year. And we're going in and we're looking at different, you're not inspecting their fire stuff. It's exactly what it says. It's an annual safety inspection. You're checking your doorways for
Walkways.
blockages. You're looking at the building. Is the ceiling falling down? You know.
Reports were there. He used to do them from.
Yeah, we do have reports.
He used to do them from the fire department.
Well, it was,
All different
the
things.
introduction was, I'm with the city. I can tell you that. So I think we do need to have something in there and we need to exercise that. I mean, because that gives us the opportunity for the ones like we're messing with right now, or talking about a while ago, that don't have occupancy permits, because that's one of the first things that was asked for. Where's your occupancy permit? And if you don't have one, then we need to dig into why. Right.
And that's part of the safety inspection.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I remember was on the list that they asked for.
So somewhere we should have it in our procedures and all that. Something should be written up.
Yeah, we just need to.
$60. So, I mean, we've got,
Oh, I mean.
And they need to look at electrical and all kinds of stuff, you go in there, there's no,
no, it doesn't go that deep.
but it should.
It's a general safety inspection, the way I understood
You're
it.
not looking, you're looking for hazards like walking in the front door,
Yes.
you know, things like.
Yeah, but they got a wall plug that doesn't have a cover on it, some little kid walk over and stick his finger in it and get electrocuted, that's a.
Yeah, but we're
But your
looking. at any kind
fabrication business isn't gonna happen.
And those notes get taken, I think, what this does, it gives you the avenue to lead into other things, right? So if you've got a place that's like you're saying, stringing wires here and there, then we have to take it a step further. You know, I mean, and it's not really the time to talk about this, but
Right.
yes, you're looking at all things, you're probably not handling all things within this one inspection. That makes sense.
I think that one probably goes back to the workshop. And
Well,
we need to look at,
But I think when you put something in the line item, that would, because if we don't put anything in the line item, we don't hold any accountability to actually exercise it within this next year.
So how many businesses do we
Does
have
that make sense?
that we can do each?
I mean, I agree with you, it needs to be in our workshop, but if we don't put money.
but what if it's written the other way and that's where it was supposed to be going, what he was doing?
The CO, is that what you're talking about?
You're talking about done by a different entity within the city. I don't know how that would be.
I don't know. I just should have put it there and then it is written that way.
I mean, it's the businesses are in the city. And the city is responsible for them as anything as far as
It'd be 14.
codes, and
14.
laws and all that stuff
And
goes.
there's 60, so we need to be doing 14 of these a year for the businesses that we have, and it's $60 a pop.
$840.
Yeah, but that's BV doing inspections, correct?
No, I'm just saying, I counted business.
Just count business.
14.
It falls under code enforcement.
Yeah,
Well, that's BV, so I mean,
That's a code
That's
enforcement.
according to enforcement.
WB fall under.
and they're doing
they
new.
would be, code enforcement wouldn't be doing it. Would they?
Safety inspection,
Bureau-
that's,
Bureau Veritas is
I don't know
doing
why
new
I
inspection.
remember the price as well as I did. I promise you, I remember the person walking in said, hey, I'm so-and-so code enforcement officer. I'm here to do your safety inspection. And me and the other person were like, oh, what are you talking about? Yep, doing a code enforcement inspection, had a clipboard, went through all these different things. Made it put up an exit sign. It didn't have to be a lit exit sign, it had to be an exit sign.
The Bureau Veritas is gonna do all your new stuff. We're gonna go
Yes.
back and do the safety inspections.
This is trying to make sure that our health and safety of our city is staying somewhat
Because a business
consistent.
that's been in business for a long time, they, unless they change names, they do not have to have a new CO.
No,
Right.
Right.
but you want
No, you
to,
want-
So
have
this is
safety
kind of the way that it would be to keep them
Honest.
on a, say,
Right,
basis
keeping our
for
city
the
safe.
year.
Yeah, I agree.
And
so it's $840, I think.
So what you did-
$840.
So we wanna, oh no, it's 152-120, annual savings.
$840.
840. we're looking at. Yeah. It's important that
Shannon,
we
you
do
got
it
that?
though, we can put it on paper all day long, but we're gonna have to do it.
So we need to go back and review, we need a workshop there to figure out what's. Maybe she could dig into it,
Well,
but
we're gonna have a workshop, and we've all been talking about these workshops. I'm asking,
No.
please, everybody, y'all remember what we're talking, what we're saying, about talking about these workshops? I'm trying to remember mine, I'm keeping written down and keeping track of it. We do need to have those, I think that's important.
So where does that put us at on that?
We're a little over,
That's okay, right?
uh-huh, I'll have the total.
Okay. So this one can go over yonder.
So finish that and then we'll have general fund balance.
So we need to do a special,
Uh-huh. We are,
Special.
next one is the PD special,
Oh.
I thought we were gonna do away with that.
that, the PD special, no, we were checking into that to see if we could put that money into general fund to use it in the general fund. But it's,
PD special ed.
that,
Is it on? I don't know.
I'll give it to you the other night, it's in some.
Maybe mix it with some of those, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's those, if anybody else needs them,
Anybody else need one?
okay. This,
Got one?
this is what is in the account now, 2,559, 04. And, we have received, actually, no, it's 259. 2,559.28. We got 24 cents through the year for interest. And, when I was speaking to the auditor, he said, well, you have to, you know, it goes way back. So to be safe, you know, leave it until you can, you know, find out more information on it. So the only thing that we've been able to spend out of there lately was the ammunition or either uniforms.
That's what we talked about today. right?
And John, I was talking to him yesterday and he said, well, let's just leave it at the ammunition right there. And so it would bring it down to 1759.52. So it's eventually gonna go away anyway.
That
So,
makes sense.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
right,
We need to switch to 22s.
Not a case or.
Switch to 22. That's
Oh,
all.
these were three.
Don't keep going up.
I know.
Go again.
So we're good with that one, right, y'all?
We're good with that.
I think so.
okay. And the next one is the park special. Do you have that one?
No, okay, I guess it's in my other stack. We've been working on some videos.
And
Oh, that's the other one we talked about.
the park special was set up by a committee a long time ago. And it was strictly for events. That's what it was for. And you see the events that they used to use it for. Actually, the first big event was when we became the catfish capital of Texas. And when we had that, we had little fishing tanks and all this in the park. And, it was a, you know, but several of the businesses are the one who put it together and then it ended up being the cities. So,
Has this number that's in there now, the actual 6596, has that been, looks like that's been, does that carry over year after year because we're not using it?
mhm,
And that's the one we spoke about today, about
mhm.
speaking with the auditor about doing away with it for the next audit.
Mhm. And this
It's
right.
like 3 or 4 accounts like that we talked about.
Mhm. So, this, I just put a fee in there to possibly use $200 for Christmas in the park. We don't know what's gonna be set up for Christmas in the park this year, nor the trunk or treat, but I do know that John, last year you bought quite a bit of candy and so did, so that may be low.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know from the council, the Catfish Festival, when are we gonna start doing that every year?
Well,
I mean,
that's what she's talking about. I didn't know you.
I mean, we can pick a date and every year celebrate that.
Yeah, we've,
That's our town.
we've been, I've been here almost 9 years. It ended before that. This was back in the early 2000 up to 2007 or 8 or something like that.
It'd be a way to bring our community together and also.
The first year we did it, we had a huge fishing tank. And it was so hot. They had to get catfish out of the tank because
Yeah,
Was it a black tank?
no, it was a great big, like a miniature swimming pool.
Wow.
And it was, I remember I was the catfish person. It was like these kids. And I thought, where are the gloves, you know? But it was a lot of fun. It was a really good thing. But
We do, and it would be nice to have that again. We would have to do it in the non-summer months. It'd have to be in the spring or the fall.
Yeah.
People just will not come out with 110-degree weather.
Fall would be a great time of year.
Yeah, early fall, September, October, you know,
So for that's
but
a whole different view.
yeah, we're getting
But,
off.
how much did we spend on that candy? I don't remember.
If you're back, I don't know how much.
I want to say when I
Don't-
went to the store,
That don't sound like very much.
200 a piece.
So it's more like I'm short there, $200.
Yeah, it was 200 a piece.
I don't think it sounds like very much. candy.
Amazon.
No, well, it wasn't. We blew through it.
Yeah,
And candy prices have gone way.
Yes, they have.
So what do you think we ought to put in there for?
Well, $200 a piece between departments and we blew through candy in what, 30 minutes?
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
I would,
I think.
if we can do 3 and 3, like 600. Well, I'm saying 600 total, so it's 300 a piece. Oh, you're saying out of this. Okay, yeah.
Go
500
online
from Marsh.
and on to Amazon.
Oh,
And
Don't
what
tell
about,
him that.
what about anything other than as far as Christmas in the park?
To Christmas in the park.
We don't have a lot of decorations and stuff.
a lot of the decorations and stuff too, I found
Decorate that.
where they're stored and they're no good.
The storage building out there is full. There's lots of stuff in there. We need to do an inventory on it, see what's in there. But
You're gonna need.
the only thing that's not in there are the large inflatables, the 3 large inflatables. And for 6 extension cords were ours, and the spotlights were ours.
So we should probably buy some of
So,
those.
yeah,
So you're gonna need some extension. I don't know what happened to the extension cords that Randy Lee had. He had one little box of them.
Yeah,
I think they put them out behind this building back here with the rest of the decorations and now over. And so I don't know what happened to the cords, but all the cords that were used out there, oh, you know, I probably.
And you know,
15 or
every
20
year
or
they
30
come out
cords.
and they blow up. Right.
Yeah.
4 years.
So we're talking about raising that, Christmas in the park up to 2,000?
If Mike's gonna decorate the park,
sure, Leon, I got you.
I'll help you when I can.
I'll watch it. Thanks. Chief.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm sure Public
Well,
Works
that
can get
needs to
some.
move to
Stay what now?
if you're gonna,
Oh, good job.
if you're gonna do inflatables, they range anywhere from $75 to $150. So if you're gonna do
And
that,
there might be some of those that are still usable, there might be some work on.
We're gonna change that to 2,000.
Okay.
Christmas in the park is 2,000,
Candy's 500.
candy's 500.
About all that.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's pretty much.
ignore the chief. Ignore the chief. Nothing.
I think that.
He's thinking about 50 years.
Yes. He wanted to go to 300 too.
Well, this is coming out.
Yeah.
So if we donate a couple hundred apiece plus the 500.
That's in the special park fund, right?
I think
I
that
went
was
over the last lane.
Where his name is, he was.
I did.
I think the Christmas tree might be enough to do maybe two.
Okay, everything that we've done, what we've got so far, is there any other additional comments, questions, concerns, anything over what we just did tonight?
I just want to say thank y'all.
No, thank you.
I want to say thank you.
No, thank you.
Everybody.
I do have a
Thank you.
question. Okay.
Yes.
It is, we're complete now. This will make us, tomorrow night, we do not have a meeting. Tomorrow night's is canceled. And that would be 8/24 meeting canceled. Our next meeting will be our public hearing on our proposed budget. And the next item will be on our proposed tax rate. And moving out of that, closing that meeting, going into our regular special session, we would vote on our, like we did last year, vote on the budget first. It has to be passed first, the first reading, and then the first reading of the tax rate. And then at our regular meeting in September, we would have the second reading and it would be final. So
So what's
our
the date?
our next meeting will be August the 30th at 6:30. That's our public hearing.
Tuesday, right?
Cool. So I would like, I'd like to say thank you to the department heads and,
Yes.
and Annette, I'd like to say very graciously thank you. for
Yes. And Shannon as
I know you
well.
had the hours, I mean, you guys have all worked together as a good team. This is my third budget workshop, and it's gotten easier every year.
This one was a good,
Yes.
I mean, it really was.
It's gotten easier every year. I'm just very appreciative of everybody's efforts. And I look forward to us to bring this budget in. We did, like, we're looking like we're gonna bring this year's in and continue that trend. And I hope we can continue that cohesive
You
trend.
know, right now, we're looking at we're closing out the year, with carryover.
Yeah, we should, we
I
should.
mean, we've done, not only have we done a good job budgeting, but we've done a better job spending.
Which is hard during this
that's
year.
Most of that's on you. I appreciate it.
It's pretty challenging with the
I know,
economy.
but it's been challenging, but it's kind of been fun too, because we do find good deals. Well,
Oh,
to
maybe.
me, it's fun because anytime you can find a better deal, I get excited,
Yeah.
So,
But thank all of y'all for your hard work.
yes, very much so. Based on that, the last item on the agenda,
I make a motion,
Go ahead.
I make a motion to adjourn.
okay, Pam first and Kevin second, all in favor?
Leon.
Kevin Feathers.
Yeah, you gonna cut me out of everything.
Hey, well, I just want to go home.
That was good.
And before anybody sits in this chair again,
Well,
there is a
Shut up.
vote. So it needs to be fixed.
Hey, we can probably work things.
Was it going?
It's here.
Oh, it would. Oh, it's still got one of these sides right here. Check and see if you got one this over there. I don't know. whether-
I'm struggling.
What do we do? Yeah,
Here.
but they're here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
lost.
No,
You're
they're,
lost until
no, they're here. That way. The,
I think.
All right. Trying to figure this out here.
Let me end it.
Okay, I was trying to do that, but it didn't show up.